Hello there. Don't forget, this is my take, so don't hate. Can you believe it? I'm actually encouraged and inspired by our young, gifted, and black young people. You know, I'm 71 years of age, and I consider myself an accomplished person. And yet, I'm impressed by the attitudes and actions of our young, gifted, and upward mobile blacks with their take no prisoners attitude. You know, as I look back, it happened when President Obama was first elected. It happened again 4 years ago when Donald Trump was elected president. And it happened again this past year. There was a sudden and radical shift in the world of American politics. And with a change in politics comes a change in the economic and social climate of our nation. There comes a change in attitudes and behaviors towards people of various backgrounds and societal standing. It's fair to believe that if someone likes you and accepts you, that they like you and accept you forever. But I'm learning in a very unpleasant way that attitudes of our fellow Americans flows and goes with the politics and the economics of our society. I'm learning that more than accepting and seeing people as equals, oftentimes we only tolerate them for a season, and that's usually only because we have no other choice. This past year and the various events that unfolded ripped the covers off America in a way not seen in recent years. I mean, we've seen division, we've seen the hate and the violence, and we've seen the ugliness of America the Beautiful before. And even when we didn't see it, we knew it was there, hidden somewhere beneath the surface. The difference in this time is that hate and ugly disrobe took off the mask and stepped from behind the facade of civilization, proudly walked the streets of America naked, open, and bare. Hate and meanness was worn as some sort of a badge of honor and placed on public display and practiced with impunity. Then when you factor in a pandemic and an unprecedented verbal and physical attack against our political system, our judicial system, and our country, and all that we stand for, led by some of the top political leaders in our nation, it's really no small wonder that we survived and arrived at the place we find ourselves today. But out of all of this came the emergence of a new generation, came a new generation of people of all colors and backgrounds. Out of all this came a new excitement and a new interest in our country. Out of all this came renewed hope and optimism and refreshed trust in America. And I dare not show as much as a shred of unfounded or unsubstantiated pessimism, but I know that we've been there before. I've seen it before. And it has been a long string of not so easy come and always easy go. And I do wonder with blacks and people of color in America if there's a direct correlation between our level of progress on the one hand and our level of political and social involvement on the other. Regardless of the people, it doesn't matter who the people are. I believe our interest, our involvement, and our level of investment in our country and community are major determining factors in how well we do in America. When we're involved in the political process, when we're involved in the health and welfare of our nation, we fare much better. When we're more accepting, more patient, and more understanding of the diversity of our nation, we fare much, much better. And at some point, the Civil War has to end, because we'll either be destroyed by invading forces or we will destroy ourselves. We the people, all the people of this country, are the biggest threat to our national security, and yet on the other hand, we're also the saviors of our society. So I say to the blacks of America, young and old, to the males and females, to the progressive thinking and fair-minded whites, to all people of color, and to all those in power, to all people on every level, it's time for us as a nation to move past spurts of progress and flashes of success and bury the various hatchets that continue to not only just chip away, but chop away at the very fabric of our country. We have indeed come a long ways, and I'm grateful. But unless we keep up the pace, it could all be lost, or it will continue to be one step forward and two steps backwards. Our interest in this country brought us this far. Our involvement in this nation brought us this far. And our investment in this country and our communities brought us to where we are today. And that's what it would take to launch us further into the future. This is no time to rest on our laurels. We can't say good game and hang up our cleats and our helmets. Listen, winning one round of a fight does not a victory make. There are people already meeting and plotting and planning to overturn and undo what has been done and the progress that has been made. And we must counter such conspiracies and such efforts. But we won't do it, and we cannot do it if we are asleep at the wheel. Miles to go before we sleep. Many of us learned as youngsters that poem, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. And it says, whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there's some mistake. The only other sound's the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. And here's the main part. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Amen. Yes, black is back. Amen. And there are others sitting at the table, and doors that have been closed are now being opened, but only for a while. It's like we're only allowed to come out and play for a short while and then back to the dungeon. Generational struggles demand generational responsibilities and generational sacrifices. And every generation must stand up and step up to fight its share in its season of the battle. And I got to applaud this generation for doing just that. It's exciting, it's refreshing and encouraging to see so many young people engaged and involved in the various facets of our society. But please hear me, my friends. It's not enough for us to fight the hate and the prejudice and the biases of others, but we must also honestly face and address our own prejudices and our own biases and our own hate. You remember it was reported that when he stepped out onto the surface of the moon, Neil Armstrong said, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. You know, and maybe that's what we're doing, shooting for the moon. But as the record shows, we can make it. But we have miles to go before we sleep. Listen, my friend, don't quit now. Don't give up now. There's no time to take a nap. There's no time to let your guard down. You've been involved. You've been out there. You've been vocal. You've been active. Keep at it. We're going to have to stay the course. We have miles to go before we sleep. This is no time to drift off into the luxuries of life. We're still in a struggle. We still have miles to go before we sleep. Let us encourage one another. Let us bear up one another as we fight this battle together. It's going to take all of us, black, white, red, yellow, whatever. It's going to take all of us. This is our country. This is our nation. Amen? And it's up to us to protect the freedoms, the liberties, and the benefits and all that goes with being an American. I'm proud to be an American, and I hope you are as well. Keep up the good work and give a shout out to those young people and listen, encourage them because they're doing a wonderful job. You know, not everybody is bad and doing evil things. We got a lot of good young people as well as older people, but it's going to take us all. Amen. Just remember, we have miles to go before we sleep. That's my take. Now, what do you have to say? Sound off. All right. God bless you, my friend. Stay safe and stay healthy. Stay as safe as you possibly can and protect your family and your friends. Amen. See you next time. God bless you.